Now let's turn to Canada's western border. As Russian President Vladimir Putin has allegedly done, the rumor mills are ablaze. Putin is apparently eyeing his next prize. This time he's supposedly going for an old Russian outpost, the US state of Alaska. Yes, the rumors are that Putin wants Alaska back. Alaska was once a part of the Russian Empire, but Moscow sold the land back in 1867 to the still fledgling country called the United States of America. This was before the great rivalry, before the Cold War, before the modern hostilities, and before anything of value had ever been discovered in Alaska. Russia had sold a frozen wasteland to the US for the then princely sum of $7.2 million. But now reports say that Putin is unhappy and that he's declared the sale of Alaska, quote-unquote, illegal. But this is not true. It's an absurd rumor spread to either incite fear or just grab eyeballs. Either way, there's no truth to it. So why did these rumors begin? Because of a law that Putin signed a few days ago. He signed a decree on the 18th of January. Putin allocated some funds to Russia's Department of Foreign Property. These are to help find, register, and give legal protection to Russian property abroad. It's basically about protecting Russian assets, some of which are being held hostage by foreign governments. And this has been the case since Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022. So Putin's order is not really unusual. The Alaska rumors began because of the language of this decree. It mentioned protecting Russian property, including the property of the Soviet Union and the Russian Empire. The Soviet Union fell in December 1991. The Russian Empire lasted between 1721 and 1917. So someone thought Putin wants to claim everything that Russia ever owned, from the 1700s till today. And that would include Alaska. This is how the rumors started. And they've even spread to the corridors of the White House.
Let me just understand that he signed something today that said the sale of Alaska is illegitimate.
Right.
Well, I think I speak for all of us in the U.S. government to say that certainly he is not getting it back.
As if that exchange weren't ridiculous enough, Russia reacted to it. This is a tweet by Dmitry Medvedev, Putin's ally and former Russian president and prime minister. He says, and I'm quoting, according to a State Department representative, Russia is not getting back Alaska, which was sold to the US in the 19th century. This is it then. And we've been waiting for it to be returned any day. Now, war is unavoidable. Please note the laughing emoji at the end. That should mean that World War III is not starting. Not over Alaska at any rate. But while the Russians have been laughing over the Alaska rumors, another historical claim may be no laughing matter. This is Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky making headlines, again over a decree about historical land. The decree is on the territories of the Russian Federation historically inhabited by Ukrainians. He says these lands were once inhabited by Ukrainians, but they stayed with Russia after Ukraine became independent. Now, Zelensky does not want this land back. But he says crimes were committed against the people who lived there. He says Russia systematically destroyed their national identity, and Zelensky wants his country to cooperate with these ethnic Ukrainians in Russia. He wants to revive their Ukrainian identity and counter what he calls Russian propaganda. This is not as alarming as Putin wanting to take back Alaska. But it's a different sort of land grab. Over time, the revived ethnic Ukrainians may want to secede from Russia and perhaps join Ukraine someday. Of course, there's no real way for Zelensky to enforce this decree. It's a stunt to drive wedges into Russia's social fabric. But it proves that the rift between Russians and Ukrainians is growing, and the wounds may last for years to come.